Man, I don't know about you guys, but it honestly feels like the tension inside NASCAR is starting to hit another level right now. And after what went down at Dover, I think we just witnessed two stories that could seriously shake up the entire conversation around this season moving forward. One of them involves a post-race moment that's already exploding across the NASCAR world because what was allegedly said after the checkered flag has fans completely divided right now, especially considering who said it and who it was said to. And then the second story says everything about how chaotic, emotional, and completely unpredictable this all-star race became from start to finish. Big names wrecking out, drivers frustrated, strategies falling apart, and one superstar walking away with $1 million after surviving absolute madness at Dover. This whole night felt like one of those races people are going to be arguing about all week long. So, if you love NASCAR drama, real fan reactions, and daily coverage from people who live and breathe this sport, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're still a new channel, trying to hit 15,000 subscribers, and honestly, being part of this community early is going to be something special. What started as a huge breakthrough night for Chase Briscoe ended up turning into one of the most uncomfortable and controversial moments we've seen all season inside Joe Gibbs Racing. Because after Denny Hamlin won the NASCAR All-Star race at Dover Motor Speedway and collected that $1 million prize, the conversation immediately stopped being just about the race itself and became about what allegedly happened between Hamlin and Briscoe after the checkered flag. And honestly, if these comments are true, this thing could get ugly fast. Chase Briscoe finished second Sunday night. But this was not one of those second-place finishes where a driver just hangs around all day and steals a good result. Briscoe was legitimately one of the fastest drivers on the racetrack. He led multiple portions of the race, fought Hamlin head-to-head for the win, and looked capable at several moments of pulling off the biggest victory of his Cup Series career. That's what makes this whole thing hit even harder. After the race, Briscoe first praised his Joe Gibbs Racing team for rebuilding the car after he slammed the wall during practice earlier in the weekend. He admitted they basically had to reconstruct the entire thing, and somehow they still gave him a car fast enough to fight for $1 million. And don't forget, Briscoe also revealed he had been dealing with a stomach bug for the last 2 or 3 days leading into the race. So physically, he already wasn't feeling 100%. Yet he still nearly won the all-star race against one of the best short track and concrete track drivers NASCAR has seen in this era. That alone earned respect from a lot of fans Sunday night. But then came the moment that completely changed the tone. According to Briscoe, after the race ended, he walked over to congratulate Denny Hamlin. Pretty standard stuff between teammates after battling for a huge win. But Briscoe claims Hamlin responded by telling him he was still not Cup Series level. And when Briscoe repeated that to reporters outside the number 19 hauler, you could tell he was genuinely furious. He called the comment classless, not emotional, not misunderstood, not competitive trash talk. Classless. And honestly, you can understand why this instantly exploded online. Because these are not two random drivers from different organizations. These are teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing. Drivers who are supposed to represent the same organization every single weekend. Briscoe basically said he wasn't asking for praise. He wasn't asking Hamlin to hand him respect just because he ran second. But after going toe-to-toe for $1 million and proving he belonged at the front all night long, hearing his own teammate try to diminish him hit differently. And if you watched the race, you know Briscoe absolutely backed up his performance. He admitted late in the race he just didn't quite have enough rear grip to fully defend against Hamlin on longer runs. Every time he grabbed the lead, the car became too loose, and eventually Hamlin's experience and long-run speed took over with 29 laps remaining. That's the thing here. Briscoe wasn't embarrassed. He wasn't outclassed. He legitimately fought one of the toughest veterans in the garage all night. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin stayed pretty calm when reporters asked him about the accusations afterward. But what's interesting is he never directly denied saying it. Instead, Hamlin basically brushed it off by saying emotions run high after races and that they raced hard all night. That response alone made fans go even crazier online. Some people defended Hamlin immediately, saying that's just who Denny is. Ultra-competitive, ruthless, mentally aggressive. The kind of driver who will say anything to maintain psychological control inside the garage. But a lot of fans thought the alleged comment crossed a line, especially toward a teammate who nearly helped make it a 1-2 finish for Joe Gibbs Racing. And let's be honest here. Joe Gibbs Racing has already been under pressure this season because the younger drivers are trying to establish themselves, while veterans like Hamlin still control so much of the spotlight inside that organization. So now everybody's going to start wondering, is there real tension building inside Joe Gibbs Racing? Because this didn't feel like normal racing frustration anymore. It felt personal. And while all of this drama was happening, the race itself was absolutely chaotic from beginning to end. Denny Hamlin admitted after the race that having an incredibly fast car made life easier, but he also praised the race format because traffic and the invert created real challenges throughout the night. He said long-run speed became the game changer, especially once drivers got trapped in dirty air and traffic. Hamlin also joked that he'd probably give the $1 million prize money to his mom, which honestly became one of the lighter moments after such an intense night. But Dover was brutal for a lot of drivers. Chase Elliott never even advanced out of the first segment after getting caught in multiple crashes during the chaotic early action. Elliott said he didn't even know what the right strategy was because the race became complete survival mode. He described cars sliding down the banking everywhere after wrecks started happening. Ross Chastain also failed to advance after damage destroyed the front clip on his #1 Busch Light Chevrolet. He sounded frustrated, but also hopeful because he believed Trackhouse Racing showed improvements compared to recent races, especially with the current downforce package. John Hunter Nemechek had one of the more painful exits of the night. He said his team battled all weekend to recover speed, and he actually felt competitive during the race before getting collected in another massive incident after Riley Herbst either got loose or got turned on the front stretch. Nemechek said it was heartbreaking because they had a real shot to start on pole for the second segment before ending up destroyed in the garage instead. Ryan Preece also had a terrible night after finishing 36th. He took another massive hit and admitted afterward he still wasn't completely sure what triggered the incident entering Turn 1. Preece even apologized if the wreck was his fault, which honestly says a lot considering how emotional and chaotic the race became for everyone involved. And this is why Sunday night at Dover feels bigger than just an exhibition race. You had aggressive racing, destroyed cars, drivers openly frustrated, veterans and younger stars clashing emotionally, and now potentially serious tension developing inside one of NASCAR's biggest organizations. That's the kind of stuff fans remember deep into the season. Because whether people love Denny Hamlin or can't stand him, moments like this keep him right at the center of NASCAR conversation every single year. And for Chase Briscoe, this may have actually become a turning point moment in his career because fans saw him fight at the front, handle himself emotionally afterward, and prove he belongs in these high-pressure moments. Now, the question becomes, what happens next inside Joe Gibbs Racing? Do these two move on immediately and focus on winning races? Or does this become one of those rivalries that slowly builds week after week until something finally explodes later in the season? Especially with Charlotte coming up next, emotions are not exactly going to cool down anytime soon. And honestly, from a fan perspective, this is exactly why NASCAR stays so compelling. The personalities, the pressure, the egos, the rivalries. It's never just about turning laps. It's about emotion, respect, and proving yourself every single weekend against the best drivers in the world. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you believe Denny Hamlin crossed the line with those alleged comments to chase Briscoe? Or is this just old-school NASCAR mentality and competitive trash talk after a huge race? And also tell me who impressed you the most at Dover, because this all-star race was absolute chaos from green flag to checkered flag. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're still a growing channel trying to reach 15,000 subscribers, and if you love honest NASCAR discussions, emotional reactions, race breakdowns, and daily coverage from real fans of the sport, you're in the right place.